Hey guys, Katie here. This is going to be a different video, and just huge trigger warning for anybody not ready to hear any of this type of stuff, but this is all going to be dealing with mental health, suicide, and death. So if you don't want to hear about any of that or anything, just please don't watch this video. With that kind of out of the way, also, this is very raw, very real. I don't have a script or anything, so just kind of, I have no idea where this video is going to go exactly, but I have a lot on my mind, a lot that has been going on, a lot to do with the reason why I've been gone, and I've been wanting to talk about this for a while. I just haven't, and I don't know, I just feel not necessarily that I need to, but that I want to. I don't know, because it's a very serious situation, serious topic, and I know this is a serious issue in the world, and in case anybody else out there might be feeling the same things as me or going through some of the same things as me, just to know that you're not alone. And yes, I have a fly. Sorry. I might have a couple in here. I don't know. Anyways. So last year I had stopped making videos right at the end of September because of what happened to my cat Psycho, but there were also other reasons too. September is not a good month for me. It hasn't been since 2019. I don't know, I think I talked about it in one of my other videos about my ex, Shane, but I'm going to get a little bit more into it here, and a little bit more into some of my personal stuff and everything. Back on September 13th, 2019, which was actually a Friday the 13th, so now Friday the 13th have a double meaning to me, which also makes any Friday the 13th hard to handle too. He was found, he was in jail, but he was found hanging, and I don't know still to this day if it was suicide or if someone else did it to him. I don't know. That sounds so made up, I know, because I even have a hard time believing that this is the truth, because it sounds so ridiculous, like a Hallmark movie or a Lifetime movie or whatever. But that's all I know. I was talking with his sister, you know, after everything happened for a little bit, and trying to get, you know, as much information as I could through the investigation on what happened. But I never found out, and then we lost touch, so I don't know. But when I first heard about it, I thought it was suicide. I didn't, like, nothing made me think that it could have been anything else, that it was murder or anything. I didn't really, like, why and how and all this kind of stuff, and like no conspiracy theories about anything. Anyways, so it's still kind of stuck in my head that it's more of a suicide than anything else, but I don't know for sure. I have wanted to try to see if I can go, because I've told you before, I live in Lubbock. This happened, I believe, in Brownfield, which is just like, I think 30-40 minutes away. It's a little town. It happened at their jail there, and thought about going down there and trying to do like a Freedom of Information Act type thing, see if I can find out or something, because me and his sister only talk through Facebook, and for the past year or so I haven't been able to get into my Facebook account, so I have no way of contacting, because I never actually physically met any of his family or anything, and I only talked to his mom one time when we were together, And also, just so you guys know, we were together only from 2011 to 2012. So we were only together for about a year. And then the rest of the time, he was pretty much that entire time till 2019, he was in and out of jail. Most of it was he was in jail. He got out. I don't remember exactly, but he had spent, I think, like almost 5 years in prison. And then he got out, but then he went back in. But anyways, so the last time that he had gotten out, he had actually got released back here to Lubbock, and I actually saw him for the first time since, 2012. And that was in 2019, so that's what, 7 years or whatever. And of course I was with Joe at that time, so he knew, Joe knows everything. But I was still, for the first couple of years that me and Joe were together, I was still talking to Shane. We were writing letters and stuff, just as friends or whatever. Shane was always kept saying he was still in love. Anyways, I don't want to get into that part. Anyways, so, but there was a point where I had stopped talking to him like 4 years, like probably about 4 years before he had finally actually gotten out and came here to Lubbock. There's a lot of history, even though it was such a short time period that we were together. There was a very, there was a lot of history between me and him, and a lot of emotion tied to him as well, which again, Joe knows all about. So, also, when we were together in 2012 in June, I did try to commit suicide, and it was a pretty serious attempt, and if it wasn't for him, I probably would not be here, because he's the one who called the ambulance. I had taken, so this is why I'm giving you this backstory, basically, of him, and why everything is kind of connected between, and why his death and everything is so traumatic and impactful and everything for me. Sorry for Jig's tail. Okay, sorry. So let's just go back to where I was starting out talking about June. I believe it was June 11th. Me and him had gotten into a fight, and something just snapped with me, and I downed, I don't know how many it was, I don't remember. I'm not going to say what medication it was either, but it was not a medication that was prescribed to me either, but there was that medication. I took too many, and at first Shane didn't believe me when I told him about it, and then he could see my reaction. Luckily, I was smart enough that whenever I was at the park across the street from our house, and then I came back over here, because I had thought that Shane had left, but luckily he did not. So, he had come back into the house with me, and I told him what happened, and then when I came back into my room, I also, I don't know what happened. I don't know why I took them, and then when I got back to the house, I realized I had made a mistake, so I shoved a pin down my throat, and luckily I believe I threw up. It's kind of hazy for me, because I was blacking in, going in and out of consciousness. All I can really remember is, again, in and out of consciousness is just Shane screaming my name and just crying, and then the ambulance came here. I have no idea how I got out of the house, how I ended up in the ambulance, how I ended up at the hospital. I don't remember any of that. Things that I remember from the hospital is they kept doing like that pressure point on you have a certain bone or something here that hurts like hell if they put pressure on it or something. I don't know. But they kept waking me up, and they kept saying, you know, keep breathing, or we're going to have to shove a tube down your throat. And apparently I couldn't breathe by myself, so they did have to shove a tube down my throat. I don't, as far as I know, they didn't pump my stomach. They didn't have to do anything like that. And I think it was just a couple hours later that I ended up waking up, and they were able to pull the tube out and everything like that. So it was a serious attempt, as in, you know, I stopped breathing and I had to have a breathing tube and everything, but they didn't have to, like, pump my stomach or do anything like that. So I don't know on what severity you would call that, because a lot of people have to have their stomachs pumped, but I didn't. So I don't know how to, whatever, but I just say that I stopped breathing. So to me, I think that's a pretty serious thing. Anyways, I think I was in the hospital for probably about 3 days, and then they let me go. They didn't prescribe me any meds. They didn't recommend me being hospitalized. They didn't do anything like that. So I was just free to go. And a whole bunch of, anyway, there's a bunch of bad stuff that happened with Shane. Horrible, traumatic stuff. But I don't want to go into that part of it. I just want to say that if he was not there to call 911, that most likely I would not be here. So that's why he saved my life. So my attempt, my suicide, him saving my life is connected. And then with his, he was living in Brownfield, you know, after he got out. Like I said, he got released in 2019. He had gotten released. He came down here to Lubbock. I had gotten to see him just a few months before he passed. We had saw each other, you know, things were okay. We were going to stay kind of friends, you know, after not talking for so long too, you know, and then he all of a sudden started calling me saying, I'm out, I'm going to come and see you. I'm sorry, I'm not a very good storyteller probably. There's a lot of history, and I'm trying to get to the specific points that I'm trying to get to for the certain subject that we're talking about, which is the suicide part right now. And sorry if I'm all over the place. Like I said, I didn't have a script or anything. I'm just trying to just go in order of memory and stuff. Anyways, hopefully this is making some kind of sense. Anyways, like I said, so he got out. I can't remember for sure what day. Okay, so we had seen each other, and then you know, of course I was with Joe, so whatever he was hoping for didn't happen or whatever. So he was texting me and stuff like that, and then something happened, and he ended up going back to jail, obviously, because that's where this all happened with his stuff. And so he had written me a letter, and it just was just him going back to his old ways, because he was asking me to do something for him again after everything. And so I wrote him a letter back saying blah blah blah. And then what happened was I had gotten a call from the hospital saying that I was still his emergency contact. And I was like, what? No, like, we've been broken up since 2012. Why are you calling me? So I was like, no, no. But then I was like, okay, this is freaking me out though, because why are they calling me? Like, something just felt off. So I had to call back and check to make sure that he was okay. Because, you know, it's the hospital. Usually if you go to the hospital, you're hurt or you're sick or something is going on. So I was like, I have to call back. I have to see, make sure if he's okay. So when I called back, of course, since I said, no, take me off his emergency list or whatever, that they couldn't tell me anything. So I was like, all right, fuck it. I'm going to go up there and I'm going to see what the hell is going on, because they said I can go up there, but they can't tell me anything over the phone. So I went up there, and that's when I found out what happened. They said it was done with mop string or whatever, you know, like a mop head. That's what he used. That's what he used. I don't know. I completely broke down. I'm probably gonna break down right now, just envisioning that right now. But he was having seizures and stuff. He was hooked up to a breathing machine, and yeah, they said he wasn't gonna make it probably, and I think they right before I got there, his mom and his sister and everything, because he's originally from is it Brownwood, or I think it's Brownwood. No, just like 6, 7, 8, I don't know how many hours. I've never been there. I don't know Texas that well. Anyways, so they had come all the way down, and I think they had decided, or I can't remember exactly, sorry, I got so much going on in my head, I can't remember the exact details and everything, because it was just so traumatic. I did not know what was going on, when they just said I would have to come down to the hospital. I was just like, oh, he probably like broke his leg or got in a fight or something. I was not expecting this, so I was so traumatized when I heard that he's basically like brain dead, and it was from hanging and everything. It was, and after from, so anyways, he was an organ donor and everything like that. Like I said, he was hooked up to the ventilators and all that kind of stuff. So this happened on September 13th, but he did not pass until September 24th. So I think he lived, when you, I guess, donate organs or whatever, they have to take you off the breathalyzer, and then they have to let you completely go on your own. So I think he went for a couple of days without the machines, and before he actually passed. I don't know why I keep saying anyways, like, I'm here to be open and honest with you guys. Like, if you're here listening to this, you obviously want to know the truth. You know, you're not shying away from it, otherwise you would not be watching this video. So so I felt an extreme amount of guilt because, like I said, he had sent me a letter asking me for something, and then I sent him a letter back that was like, oh, you haven't changed, have you? And just, so I was dealing with guilt, and just, you know, I even said to the nurse who came in while he was checking something when I was there, I was like, you know, he saved my life from my suicide. I was just like, and here he is, and it's just like, what the hell? So, September is a very hard month for me. I don't think that's ever gonna go away. And then I also, just found out that September is Suicide Prevention Month. And it's just like, what the fuck? And then on my channel, I actually do have a video that says for Shane. It says for Shane and for me on the thing. It says when he was born and when he passed. But there's actually a picture of a key, and it says, I think it says 9/4/11. That's a picture he drew. He drew for me, and it was a key to his heart. That's what that symbolized. And that's 9. That's September. That's when you gave me the key to his heart. And it's just like, why? And I just realized that when I was watching the video the other day. Like last night, I think it was, actually. I'm getting my days all mixed up and confused and stuff. But, that's why I'm so connected still with him, even though, you know, we haven't been a couple since 2012. You know, I went almost like 4 years without having any contact with him. There was just, it was just, I don't know. I can't explain it. If you know, you know. I don't know how else to say it. You know, if you, regardless if that person is still in your life or not, or if they pop in and out, there are some people that you just have a certain kind of connection with, and even if it may just be one-sided, I don't know. But anyways, and then, so that's the thing, dealing with Shane with my suicide and with his suicide. What I think is a suicide rather than a murder. Then last year, after everything happened with Shane, in September and stuff, the anniversary, of course, because this happened in 2019 when it actually happened, but just with the anniversary and dealing with all of that, the trauma, and everything. In October, I had found out that my first boyfriend, who me and him were actually together for 6.5 years, his name was Brian, he had actually passed away. So, I didn't have a strongest connection, even though we were together, yes, for a longer time, and he was my first real boyfriend, and everything like that. It was just, it was hard to believe, because Shane was a year younger than me. He was born in 87, I'm born in 86. And then Brian was 6 years older than me. So either which way. So Shane, when he passed away, I think he was 33, I think. This was 4 years ago. Yeah, I think he would have been 32. I was 33. He was 32. And then, so last year, I was 36, and then Brian would have been only 42 years old. Only 42 years old. So for both of them, so that's just a 10-year gap. Again, because the other thing is that Brian and Shane are so similar in so many ways, and our story of our relationship, of how it went, is so similar in so many ways. This might be a long ass video, I'm sorry guys, but there's so much that I need to get out. Like, maybe your stories might not be the same, but like the feelings inside, once I get more in depth with that, might be the same on some other stuff. But just this story of what I'm going through around this specific time, because this is within the next 2 months that everything is coming up, anniversaries of everything, and that is just insane to me that everything is coming up. Again, it's another year where I gotta I don't gotta, but I do, because that's just how my brain works with everything. Anyway, so um, Brian, he did not die by suicide. Well, I mean, kinda. He died, I believe, by like cirrhosis of the liver. Um, Me and him literally have not talked since we broke up. We were together from when I was 17 until I was 23, which is funny because he was 23 when I was 17. So, like, anyways, that's not the important part. Like I said, we were together for 6.5 years. We broke up. He left me in 2010. I was absolutely devastated, of course. But we have not spoken since 2010. So I have had no contact with him, no friendship of any kind, nothing. So it's not really the same thing that it was with Shane, because like I said, with Shane, there was a deep connection there that never... I don't know how to explain it, but there was a connection. But with Brian, it wasn't like that. So it's not necessarily being sad by personal feelings towards him anymore. It's more just, it's another person that I was in love with deeply when we were together and stuff. He was my very first real boyfriend. The fact that he was so young, and again, the fact that my relationship with him was almost identical to the way it was with Shane. And it's probably, definitely, red flags should have flown up all over the place, but it didn't, of course. I guess I don't know. Anyways, we're not going to get into that part because past is the past. You can't change it. But just within a couple of days of knowing Shane, he had gotten arrested. It was because of a what do they call it? He had one of those security anklet bracelets and he broke curfew or whatever. So he got in trouble with parole, whatever. So it wasn't a serious offense. So that's why I still stayed in contact with him while I visited him in jail and everything like that. But anyways, that part's not important right now. What is important is that when he was in jail, even after it was only just a couple of days, we had already said, I love you. It's stupid, yes, but I don't know, how old was I? Was I 25? I was still young. I was still... whatever, that doesn't matter. When you feel things, you feel them. However stupid they are, when you look back on it, you just, again, you cannot change the past. But and then a couple of days after that, Shane had asked me to marry him, and I don't honestly remember what my answer was. I think I said no to him because that was way too soon, and just said, afterwards, whatever. Anyways, so, but Brian did the exact same thing. It was a few months into our relationship, and Brian had went to jail because he had some weed on him or whatever. And again, this time with Brian, I was 17. And so, and it was already a few months into our relationship. So, yeah, I stayed with him. I visited him. And when he was in jail, he proposed to me. And with him, I said yes. So, technically, these guys were both fiancés of mine. But no, I never really I got a ring from Shane. It's shown in that video, if anyone, whatever. But with Brian, no, I never actually officially got a ring, but he did propose, and I did say yes. So, right there. Second thing that is in common with both of them is that they did it first. They got my name tattooed on them. It shows the one of Shane's in that video because, of course, it's a video only for Shane. but Brian did it as well. I was 18 at that time, because I think we met in December of 03, and then so this happened after I turned 18 in 04. So we met when I was 17 for like 6 months, and then I turned 18. And then it was like right after I had turned 18, I think right after I graduated and everything, that he got arrested. So it was like 6 months, 7 months, whatever, into our relationship that he got arrested. So more than I was thinking. I was thinking it was like 3-4 months, but no, that wouldn't make sense, because when he was in jail, I had just turned 18. Me and my friend Cece went up there to go visit him, and after we were done visiting him, I was gonna surprise him on the next visit with getting, yes, my nipples pierced, okay, whatever. But I thought it would be a cool idea because a friend of mine in high school had it done, and so I thought that would be whatever. Anyways, we went up there to visit him, and then he shows me that exact day that he has a tattoo of my name on his shoulder in a star. So I'm like, you know what? Okay, I'm 18 now. I've always wanted a tattoo. Fuck the nipple piercings. I'm gonna get a fucking tattoo. So I get a tattoo of his name. I don't know if you guys have seen it before, but it's right there. I'm not ashamed of it because I loved him, okay? Why would I ever be ashamed of loving someone? Okay, I was 18 years old. I did not care. He did it first. And that inspired me to do it to show him the same level of love because I was 18. Anyways. It's fucked up too. I don't know if you could tell or not, but there's pieces of the ink missing because I actually picked at it. Again, I was 18, you know, and since I was getting my nipples pierced, that's why I decided to get it right here, you know, just so everybody knows. Like I said, I'm sure you've seen it in videos and stuff, so, and like I said, I am not ashamed. I do not plan on getting it covered up because no matter what, to me, it's always still going to be there. And it was just a symbol of how much I loved him at the time. And why be ashamed of that? There is absolutely no reason to be. Anyways, so, sorry, my air conditioner, I turned it down so hopefully it would stay off for most of this because I know it's loud as fuck because I only have a wall unit. We don't have central heat and air. Anyways, so Shane does the exact same thing. He gets one in an iron cross on his knee of my name. And this one, this tattoo, this tattoo, this tattoo, and this tattoo were all done by Shane. They were done with a homemade gun that he did himself. However, I don't know how, but, you know, but he did them himself. And since he had already tattooed my name on him, when he did this one, because he actually had a Jack tattoo before we even met. And so it was like on the second night when after first meeting him, you know, we met. And then the second time that I ever saw him, I saw that he had a Jack tattoo. And I used to tell him like it was meant to be because I don't know. There was just something. There was just something. And then, what I also used to tell him too was the day when I committed when I had my attempt, I was wearing a solid black shirt with just Jack's face right here. And in order to get the whatever, they had to cut all my clothes off. So they cut the Jack shirt off of me. And I told him that was the day that our relationship ended. It was symbolic. Because it was true. Like he I don't want to try to get into all the bad stuff right now because this video can last hours and hours then, but just when they cut that shirt off, I always told him that was like, that was very symbolic. That was the day our relationship ended. That it was truly over. Anyways, but so after he got his name tattooed on, my name tattooed on him, and he was doing this tattoo, I was like, I'm gonna leave it up to you. You decide, do you want to put your name on me? And he did. Sorry, I know this light sucks right now. I did not want to get up. I just felt like I just had to sit down and do this now. But I'm sure, again, you've seen this one a bunch of times and everything too. But it does say Shane in there, and he's the one who decided to put it in the style that he did. He designed this entire tattoo. He created it and everything like that. That's why it looks the way it does, because there were supposed to be other pieces that went with it and everything. And why the fuck I got a tribal, I have no idea. So stupid. I don't even remember why or how we chose that pattern or anything. I have no idea. It's probably just, I was just thinking, oh, tattoo, another one, so let's go. Because I've always wanted tattoos. So, but so there's another thing though that again have in common. So many other things too, but the fact that we moved in together, we moved out of my mom's house together, and then ended up moving back in. Just so many things that I can't think of all of them right now, but those are like the biggest ones that are like so unbelievably similar that it's like they're almost the same person. It was almost the same relationship, and now they're both gone. That it scares the hell out of me, because one, I feel like I might be cursed or something. Like, is there something wrong with somebody loving me? So really, really freaks me out about Joe, because I have talked in the past before about his conditions and everything like that, and then at the same time, it also just makes me think, like, of my own mortality too. You know? Like, I'm only 37 years old. Like, it sounds so old, but it also sounds so young at the same time. So, and it's just, I don't know how to comprehend anything. And I'm so afraid of what the future holds, because what I also, some of the conditions that I have, one specific condition that is very hard to explain to anybody else unless you actually have it or can somewhat understand it, is, I don't know the proper terminology. This is kind of the way I was told. It is that I have OCD, but about death. Is what it is. Like, I'm not OCD as in a clean person, because obviously you guys have seen what the room looks like and shit, and even what I look like, and it's not, you know, the flipping the switch and stuff like that, thinking that you're, you know, stuff like that. Like, it's not that. It's a specific compulsive thought that I have that surrounds so much of my thought process, and it's all about death. And when I say that, I don't necessarily mean suicide. I just mean all around I see things that can cause death. Like, when I just get up from my bed to walk to either the bathroom or the kitchen or whatever, I'm afraid to death that I'm going to step on one of the cats, or they're going to trip me or something, and I'm going to fall over and I'm going to squish them. Or when I'm simply closing my door, that one of their heads is going to be in between the door, you know, and I'm going to decapitate them. Or when I wear my glasses, I've thought about my glasses exploding and going into my eyeballs. And even my phone, I have thought that before. When something goes wrong with the car, I'll think, oh my God, it's gonna explode. Like, they're not so irrational to where it's stuff that doesn't happen. Like, I'm not afraid, like, the government's out to get, it's not paranoia like that, like government's out to get me or aliens are watching me or anything like that. It's real shit that can actually literally happen. Like, I can seriously trip on one of my cats and fall on them and kill them. Taking a shower is extremely, extremely scary for me because I'm so afraid of falling and slipping and so many different things. I mean, even that scene from fucking Final Destination gets in my head. Even though I don't have a cord like how he had, but there are other things like hitting my head on one of the faucets, or, we have, two, the door thingies, whatever, that open, not just a curtain that closes, and falling through those and then getting yeah, you could say this is all horror movie stuff and everything, but this shit can literally happen, and it's not the horror movies that affect, I don't think, at least, not subconsciously. I mean, I haven't always thought this way either. I think all of the psych meds that I have ever been on has actually messed up my brain chemistry too. Because I have been on so many different ones. Like, I never used to have anxiety. I have general anxiety disorder as well. And that is a recent thing over the past like 4 or 5 years or whatever. Same with this OCD death thing. Like, these are new conditions, but they are constant with me now. And I think they're going to always be here now because my brain got rewired and reprogrammed through all of these different medications of off and on and off and on and everything. So the only thing that has ever stayed the same is my depression. That has never gone away. My suicidal ideation, that has never gone away. The only thing that has changed is some of the diagnoses. Like, I went from, I think, bipolar to manic depressive disorder and borderline personality disorder. I don't know if there's still currently true diagnoses or not, because I am just recently now going back to a psychiatrist, because since 2020, when the pandemic hit, I pretty much had to stop, everybody kind of had to stop seeing doctors and stuff. And then even through phone calls and stuff, I guess I had missed some appointments that I actually had to get resubmitted or whatever to the psychiatry department at my hospital, and there was like a year-long waiting list. So I think I've had 2 appointments so far, about to have my 3rd next month with this new doctor, because it's UMC, University Medical Center, for our university, obviously, for Texas Tech. So a lot of these doctors too at the psych are learning doctors. So I get one, even when I was there before, I would get a new one almost every single year. So also dealing with that, but also understanding like these people need to learn. Like, psychiatry and mental health is a big, serious issue. So I understand that they need patients to be able to kind of, yes, practice on and experiment with, but they have higher ups that they go to and make sure that they're making the right decision and stuff. So, I mean, they're being watched, whatever. So I get it, but it's also very, very frustrating to have to retell your story so many times and get reacquainted or evaluated, whatever, by new people. And you're not always going to be comfortable with the new person. And then again, too, the diagnoses. Like, for the most part, they have stayed the same since I've gotten these new ones. Like, I really don't think I'm bipolar because I don't have the manic part. It's always more of the depression. I don't have happy stages, I go just deep dark down into depression, and with the death stuff and with the anxiety and everything like that, like it's down, it's never up. So I don't think, maybe I was before, but like I said, I really think all of these different medications I've been on have just fucked with my brain chemistry so much that I'm not how I was. So I'm fine with that. It's just, you know, I just want to make sure. So next time when I go in and see my new doctor, I'm going to ask her, you know, for sure, are these still what you're diagnosing me as, or are you changing what I have from what, you know, everything you've seen so far and from my old records and everything, is everything still the same? So, like I said, this video is all over the place. But yeah, those are my current diagnoses. I have major depressive disorder, general anxiety disorder, suicidal ideation, what did I say? Borderline personality disorder, general anxiety disorder, did I already say that? And then the OCD about death. I don't know how else to categorize that other than that, because that's what they told me, because I never would have thought it would have been called anything having to deal with OCD, but it's just because it's a compulsive thought, I guess. I don't know. But, yeah. So with having that death part always in my head too, it's just very hard. I mean, I'm kind of used to it now that I don't think or realize that I'm thinking about it as much as I used to whenever I first started noticing these thoughts. But there are certain things that still stress me out and make me so unbelievably anxious more than anything else. That it's too overwhelming. So another reason why I also wanted to make this was just in case some of this stuff gets too overwhelming for me and I end up disappearing for a while again. You guys, even though I don't, it's not that I owe it, but I just kind of wanted to give an explanation. And again, I don't know if anybody out there is dealing with any of this kind of stuff. But if you are not alone. I have not had any kind of suicidal thoughts in a while or anything. I mean, they may pop up, but they haven't been extreme enough for me to consider it, you know, like anything or anything. But the depression, the other thing that I wanted to kind of, I guess, deep dive into a little bit, if anybody even still cares or wants to listen, is on some of the worst thoughts that I've ever had. Just again to put it out there in case anybody's ever thought anything similar, that you're not alone in your thinking, I guess. This was probably a few years back. I have actually thought about it here probably within, I don't know when it was exactly. Let's say maybe sometime within the last 2 years, because I really cannot pinpoint exactly when it was, but I have the most lowest of low opinions of myself. This is not to get like anybody's pity or anybody to think anything. This is just literally how I see and I view myself, that I am the most useless and worst thing and worthless thing just ever. I am disgusting. I hate myself. I don't know why I'm here, why I'm alive. I don't want to be alive. So many times I wish that he never would have called for the ambulance back in 2012. That then all of this would be over and done with, and I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't still be suffering like this. I wouldn't have to worry about anything. It would have already been done. That I am a horrible daughter. That I'm a horrible friend. That I am so selfish because all I ever ask for from Joe and stuff is movies, 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 because I'm so obsessed with that too, because that is like literally one of the only joys I have in my life is my collection, my collecting and everything, and it kills me that my mind is so focused on that when I don't mean it to be, and I stop him from getting the stuff that he wants to get for himself when it's his money. Because also I haven't worked since 2014. This entire time since 2014 I have been trying to apply for disability, for Social Security disability, because I do actually have doctor's notes for every year, even since 2014, for every single year, stating that I cannot work, but she is not a disability approved doctor. So they don't care what she has to say. They don't care what all of my records say. They have denied me. This is now the third time that I have applied and they still have denied me. Because basically I'm too young and I look like I can do stuff, because I'm not crippled or whatever. I can stand on my own. So whatever. They don't take into account anything other than the fact of my age and that I don't look sick. So that's another thing that has really got me fucked up in the head too, is that I don't work, I don't bring in any money, I don't do anything but sit here, and what a waste of a life. What a fucking waste of a life. I mean, there is so much that could have been done with this fucking life if it was given to someone else. Like, why was this given to me and so many other lives were lost? Whether it be to disease, to war, to suicide, to whatever. You know? Why am I here? Why do I have to be here when so many other people want to be alive, who deserve to be alive? And I do nothing. I am a worthless piece of shit who just sits on her ass all day. You know, somebody's life who matters could use my heart, could use my lungs, could use something from me. And I have literally looked into euthanasia. And of course it's not allowed here. And I looked into seeing how suicides work, on if they'll actually use the organs and stuff, if you commit suicide, to see if they will use the organs from a person who commits suicide. Because again, I don't know what happened exactly with Shane, and he did a hanging, you know? I don't think I could hang myself. The only other way I never thought I could do pills again, but I have thought about it and actually had some pills laid out on my chest once, since 2012. So there's Um, the way I actually thought, I'm not going to say it because, again, no ideas. That's not what this video is about. It's not to encourage any of it. It's just the reason, again, why I'm giving deep, dark, well, yes, secret thoughts like this is not to encourage. It is to let you know that if you have these serious, deep, dark, fucked up thoughts, that you are not alone. I have them too. And it's okay because I'm still here. I am still here, even with all of these thoughts. You know, not only did I think about euthanasia, but I also thought about the purge. I'm not even joking. I thought, you know, to make up for my useless life and not making money and all that, to be able to help my mom out and give her something that's worth something instead of me, to go and find a rich family like that guy did. And what was it? I think it was the second purge. I can't remember if it was Anarchy or not right now. I think it was, but how he sacrificed himself to that rich family to give money to his daughter and granddaughter. Thought about doing that in some kind of, yeah, it's a movie, but you know, just fucked up shit that happens in this world, and I'm sure something like that probably really exists. Just to give my mom some money instead of having to deal with me, because I'm so worthless, and money would actually help her. You know, she doesn't need me. So so those are some of the darkest, I don't know, there might even be some that are darker, but those are the two specific ones that I can think of right now, that I've had, other than on thinking on specific ways to do it. But like I said, we're not going to go there because it's not encouragement, it's not ideas. I mean, even though but I mean, those are in the news, those were in movies and stuff, so I know everything else is too, but it's just, hopefully you get my point, that our minds are so fucked up on what they think and everything. But just, I mean, I literally fucking hate myself and think that everybody else deserves to live and not me. And that's why, like, honestly, even Shane, with all of his fucked up everything that, anyways, he could do tattoos, he could draw, he brought something, he could do something. I can't do anything. I can't draw, I can't sing, I can't write, I can't do anything except for sit here. And that's it. And one of the other fucked up things that's really, really honestly hard to admit, especially to you guys because of the movie community and everything, but for like the past 2 years, I've been so fucked up in the head, I'm not even able to actually watch any of the movies that I buy. I don't know what is going wrong in my head, but I just sit here and I watch fucking YouTube. I'll watch the streaming services on my phone because we don't even have internet at the house. So, for a couple of days, I might try to do my mobile hotspot or whatever to, you know, use my phone as my internet connection and watch the fucking TV that way. But other than that, I just watch my phone, and that's it. All this fucking money that's spent, and Joe knows this too, so don't worry. He knows this. He knows I'm having a fucked up time with even this fact, because I still want them. I want all these steelbooks that I see coming out at Best Buy and fucking Walmart. And yes, just like everybody, I know this happens with everybody who watches everybody else's videos. We're all jealous a little bit of somebody who was able to get something that we wanted that we weren't able to get that time around. So yeah, of course, every time I see somebody pick up something that I wanted that I wasn't able to get, like, oh fuck, man, like I wanted that. And it's so stupid that we are built this way. I don't know why we get this way. I don't understand it, and I hate that fact. Oh, this is over an hour long. I don't even know if I'm gonna honestly post this or not. May just watch it back and just say, okay, no, that's too much. Nobody needs to hear or watch that. And I don't know. There's probably a bunch of shit that I am missing at this point, but I think I'm gonna leave it right here. I do want to say that I have found a little bit of positivity in a new artist. I know this sounds very weird because it's not like I ever thought anything would ever... No, you know what? I don't know. It sounds so cheesy and so corny, but everybody seems to also be turning out to be exactly what they say that they're not, but they actually are. So I don't know, but I've been listening to this artist. His name is Ren. There's a specific song he put out. If you just type in Ren and then type in Hi Ren, like, it is so powerful, and it is referencing to everything pretty much in this video, just about, in such a amazing way. And I'm a fucking metalhead and a rocker, you know. I don't listen to rap, but Jesus Christ, I've been obsessed with this guy ever since I saw that video, like, I don't know, 6 months ago or whatever. It's like got like 17 or 18 million views maybe by now on YouTube. So all the reaction channels do reactions to him now for everything. I listen to all his new stuff, all his old stuff. I don't know, and just him as a person. I've watched all the recent interviews and everything. I've been just obsessed, literally. He just seems real genuine in everything, dealing with his struggles, everything he's gone through personally. Just, again, makes it feel like you're not alone. And it just, I don't know. I don't want to say it necessarily, like, helps me cope, but it just, I don't really know how to explain it. It just, I guess it just helps to not feel alone, maybe. So that might be something that helps you too. I don't know. If you haven't already checked it out for yourself, that is. But yeah, that's what I'm gonna say to end it, is just, if you haven't already, maybe check him out. Maybe that might help you, and even if it's just a fraction, you know, just any little bit to help will help. And like I said, I don't know if I'm gonna post this. I'm gonna watch it back and we'll see, but usually I do end up posting these. So, but this one is on a whole different level than anything I have ever posted, so we'll see. But thank you guys for listening, and I'll see you in my next video. Alright, bye.